What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys a more in-depth video and discussion on the little short I did the other day about new gun owners, right? And honestly, the one thing that really irritates me about gun tubers, right? And that is spare parts. So, a gun, right? So, before we get started, nothing in there. Nothing in there. Okay. And then nothing in there. Okay. So I have multiple different types of guns here, specifically to talk about the actual topic, which is the thing that gun tubers don't tell you. Guns are like vehicles. Okay. The more you use it, the more you shoot it, the more it gets worn out. Now, also at the same time, the more it gets broken in, which is a weird concept. But much like a vehicle, over time, you get wear and tear, and you get wear and tear on the basic necessities of a gun, which is usually the barrel. So you're going to want to make sure you buy spare barrels. And this is what the topic's all about: spare parts. Most gun tubers sit there and they'll shill out all this, like, oh, hey, check out this new gun, check out this new optic, check out this, check out that. Which, I mean, you gotta love them for that, because a lot of them get a lot of the cool stuff early before anyone knows, so awesome on that. But it would be awesome for them to actually talk about the one thing that you should definitely do if you're going to be new to guns or be a gun owner. And that is the one simple factor of buy spare parts. Okay, don't be like how a lot of these people on YouTube will sit there and buy like gun after gun after gun after gun and go, look at my gun collection, but not actually get spare parts, such as barrels or firing pins or, maybe mags, because mags can wear and tear, batteries, you know what I mean? Maybe, your cylinder gets worn out on your revolver, get some new cylinders. There's all sorts of different things when it comes to your gun or guns that you're going to want to look at and rethink and go, okay, what is it that will get worn out on this gun that will need to be replaced that, is relatively cheap, which is also the other thing would be a good idea, is it's relatively cheap to buy spare parts compared to buying an entire gun. Comparing to an entire gun, which would be several $100s, to a spare part, which could be ranging from a couple cents to just like maybe $50, $60. It really depends on what you're looking at and how much money you're willing to spend. Because you can get, a basic barrel, a basic trigger, you can get anything, the basic things, or you can go out for the really high class, expensive stuff. Really depends on you. But if you're going to be a new gun owner, the one thing I try telling anyone who's new to it is, one, do your research on the gun beforehand. If you have any friends who are gun people, talk to them and ask them their opinion, but at the same time, make your own choice. Don't let someone go, oh yeah, Glock's the best gun in the world, or no, go with THIG, or go with this, or go with that. Find what fits you. Okay? Because not everyone likes Glock. Not everyone likes SIG. Not everyone likes the Beretta. No one will have all the same likes. Okay? So it just comes down to what is comfortable in your hand. And that's the number one thing you always got to remember, is when you're comfortable holding the gun. And I'm not talking about, oh, I've never held a gun before. I'm talking about the fit and feel of it in your hand, such as it's comfortable. You're like, okay, this fits like it. It's like a glove. Think of it like that. When you put a glove on and it fits your hand perfectly, it's like that. When you put your hand on there and you're like, oh, I like this. This feels good, right? That is what you're looking for when it comes to either a rifle, right? Or pistols of multiple different kinds, right? And I'm not talking about calibers and none of that other kind of stuff, because also that comes down to personal choice. But all I'm talking about right now is specifically if you're going to be new to guns, Stick with one for a little bit. Get good with that gun. Practice, 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 practice. Go to the range. Find cheap but decent ammo. But also at the same time, make sure you read your owner's manual to the right grainage and whether it's plus P or whatever that you're looking for. You're going to want to check the pressures. Now, other than that, all the basic necessities are pretty simple. So, you know what I mean? All the basic parts that you're going to want to make sure you have spares of. Okay, especially if you're going to have like, you know, optics like this one, right? Batteries. Spare batteries. Okay? If you're going to have, you know, anything like this, which can get some good wear and tear, but is extremely durable, you're going to want to look to get spare parts, whether it's mags, whether it's firing pins, whether it may be new cylinders or anything else like that. There's going to be one of the stuff you're going to look at when you're looking at your gun. Go, okay, I'm going to want to get this, 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 and this. And you don't have to go crazy and buy like hundreds of spare parts for one gun. But I mean, 2-3 spare barrels just in case. You know what I mean? Because over time, and I do mean over time, and it does depend once again on your usage. So I mean, if you're gonna go to the range every so often, you have nothing to worry about. But I still suggest having one spare part at least for everything, minus firing pins, because firing pins are extremely cheap. So I suggest always having multitudes of those, because at the same time, you never know when a firing pin can fail, and that's one thing you're gonna want to have lots of is firing pins. Okay. So for any gun and every gun you have, make sure you have at least multiple firing pins, at least. But other than that, mostly everything else is pretty durable on a gun when it comes to barrels and everything else. So you don't have to go crazy when it comes to getting parts, but just get spare parts. Because that's the thing that drives me crazy whenever I'm watching a gun tuber and they're talking about like guns and everything else. A lot of them don't really have videos that are specifically talking about, hey, if you're gonna get a gun, it'd be a good idea to get spare parts for that gun. You know what I mean? Whether it's lower receivers, upper receivers, whether it's slides or whatever gun you have, right? You're gonna want to go, okay, I'm gonna want to get one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these. That way, if anything on that gun fails or breaks, you can easily replace it and you don't have to worry about going, oh no, I no longer have a gun. And it's cheaper than going out and buying a whole new gun. You know what I mean? Especially with the fact that you already know the gun that you've been using works. So always keep that in mind, okay, guys? It's not a whole lot, and honestly, it's a lot cheaper to go with one gun, buy parts for that gun, get comfortable with shooting and everything else, and then going, okay, I want to broaden my horizons. And then, you know, much like a lot of people who, you know, are in the gun tuber field or anyone who likes shooting and everything else, you tend to go, okay, I like this gun, and then you want to get more. You know what I mean? So always remember, practice, 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 and buy spare parts. Spare parts. Always get spare parts, just in case. So hopefully this was helpful. Check out the short, because it's really honestly the same thing, minus me literally just going, hey, get spare parts like batteries, firing pins, slides, all this other kind of stuff. You know, name what you should get. This is more of an in-depth, hey, this would be a good idea to actually go out there, practice, think, do everything well beforehand that you actually make your choice of what you're going to get. So hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Stay free, America. Love you guys.